Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm Will Dragon, and this is All Quiet in the Trenches as we return to camp after a little flanking battle to take out the French machine gun and push them out of their trenches, which we did a beautiful job on, I would like to say. So, Lots has good recovery. Unfortunately, though, Mail has bad recovery, and he's feverish, and he's on the brink of death. No longer bleeding, no longer shocked, no longer out of breath. Hospital partially occupied, added, changed to an excellent mood all around, although one of our guys is dying. Have we got anything left? No. We've lost all of our shot, no longer in cover because we're no longer in a fight, and Hunt has gone up to strained. Someone wants to talk to me. Excellent work. Once the machine gun was neutralized, we were able to take the rest of the trench with ease. I knew I could rely on you. Unit is tasked with guard duty. Appoint 2 men to patrol the boundaries. We have home leave in 3 turns. Are we going to make it to the first home leave without losing any soldiers? Let's find out. Is there anything else? Mail has developed a severe fever. Firewood or latrine? The whole group is exhausted. Perhaps we can ask for some time off. How exhausted is exhausted? Wow, it's pretty exhausted. So, Hunt, you're going to go look after him because, yep. Now, we are on an exceptional prestige. Not an excellent, which I was about to say. Exceptional. Ask for a favor. Ask for a break. I reckon you and your men deserve a little break. Why, thank you, my favorite cuddly bear friend. I knew you had a soft, loving center buried beneath that deep, deep layer of prick. And, oh, somebody else does want something. Your men are exhausted. With your permission, I'd like to give them double... Sure. Let's go double rations. For 1 turn only. Because then we'll technically still have enough to get us through to home leave. No matter what happens, we'll get to home leave. We may not get much further, but we'll get to home leave. Do not put me in my tent-making reports. You son of a... Damn it! This is the worst story they have ever written. So I was writing reports when the sounds of a busy activity in our camp gradually died down around me. Instead, I heard quiet, serious voices. When I left the tent to see what had happened, the men stood together, crestfallen. Hunt was in their midst, visibly fighting tears. He looked up at me and tried to compose himself. Under officer, I went to the field hospital to visit Mail. He swallowed and his voice broke. He's dead. Mail died. Some lowered their heads, but many of their eyes were now on me. I accepted the information calmly. I turned away again and returned to writing my report. I did not want to downplay Mail's death, but regardless of what my feelings were in the situation, as an underofficer, it was not my place to openly grieve or to accompany the grief of Mail's comrades. Just... Someone's... Yeah. Someone's gonna pay. Oh, but he's no longer faltering. Hey, there's a silver lining. Maybe. Okay, yeah, he went down to tired. They all went down to strained. Don't you. Brought us a lot of supplies. He had been never much left and wanted to return the favor for helping him a while ago. Oh, really? I thought we were doing just fine, to be honest. The latrine is filled to the brim. And that's, in fact, all we've got. Mail's death affected us all. Hermanbunt was wandering around outside late at night, still in a state of bewilderment. I ordered him to go to his tent when he looked at me helplessly. How can God? What these things? He asked. Our Lord works in mysterious ways. I rattled off trying to reassure him, but he still frowned doubtfully. Faith that is denied the door returns as superstition. If the gods are here no more, that's the ghost's admission. Well, he's rhyming. Everybody be scared. He's been infected by demons. I had No use for things like that here. I urgently needed to give him something to hold on to. Critical thinking shouldn't scare him. Calm yourself. Gotta send you to us to lead the men, and of course, he is not making it easy for you. That's how he is. At that, Current actually laughed briefly, then he coughed and seemed to resume his old role. You are right, he said calmly. I'd better get back to my tent. Tomorrow the men will need me again. One day, Linux was supposed to receive an exceptionally large Liebesgabe, or however it's spelled. Said. Done. This particular parcel contained a generic letter of encouragement and quite a few cans of food. This ought to make him happy. The following days, he genuinely shared it with his fellow soldiers, and was especially grateful and returned the favor by sharing his gifts for home with Linux. He's no longer lightly wounded, so therefore no longer has a good recovery. Linux is back to being compassionate once again. Dan is no longer strained, they went down to tired, 4 weeks worth of rations, and everybody's in an excellent mood. I'm sure we can ruin that. Few prisoners of war in a camp that need guarding until they can be moved to a prison. What else you got for me? Your group is assigned to guard duty. Get a patrol ready. Well then, you two can go on guard duty, and you two can guard the captives. So let's go on home leave, shall we? Disappointed and nauseated have been removed. Changed down to tired, changed to well rested. 3 weeks worth of rations remaining. The day my men and I had been looking forward to for weeks had finally arrived. Our home leave began today. The whole morning was filled with hustle and bustle until we finally reached our train amidst much fanfare. Now I was sitting here, looking out of the window and could hardly believe it. We were really going home. Everything seemed so unreal to me. The passing landscape with those pretty little villages, the clear sky with scattered clouds and the warmth of sun on my face. It all seemed so removed from our past experience, as if it had been just a bad dream. And yet, I had to think about Mail. He hadn't made it. I hadn't managed to get him through this. How many more would have to give their lives in this war? How many of my people? And how many other soldiers on both sides of the trenches? The war was not yet over, and who knew how much longer it might go on? Well, I reckon about November 1918. Now we had a few weeks of rest, but what would it be like to have to go back to the front afterwards? Saddled with everything we now knew about the war, everything we had seen and experienced, all the horror, the misery, the suffering. I gave a heavy sigh and closed my eyes. Those were thoughts for another day. Now was the time for home, family, and living life while it lasted. So there you have it. And so 2 months pass, and back we return. A month had passed since we had left the front for our home leave. In the past few weeks, I had been eyed like a fairground attraction back home. Everyone in the village had wanted to shake my hand. People kept calling me comrade, as if all of them had been at the front with me. As much as I had longed for home, everything had seemed so wrong to me. How was it that barely a year ago I had fitted so effortlessly into this life? The quiet landscape with the small, steadily gushing stream, the little cottages and the regular, chatty bustle in the streets on sunny days. It had been so natural for me to be part of all the small concerns and joys of this everyday life. And how suddenly everything became so dreadfully real with all the questions people were asking. Everyone wanted to hear as many stories from the front as possible. The gruesome, the better. Sorry, the more gruesome, the better. They wanted to hear about heroic deeds and how brave we were and whether we would make it to Paris soon, and why this ghastly positional warfare had been going on for so long. My answer sounded hollow to my own ears. Anything I said would have made the time in the field more of an irrefutable truth and torn bloody holes into this cozy home atmosphere. so I remained silent and a stranger. What would it be like once the war was over? I'm almost glad to return to the front. To my men and the daily routine that had become so strangely familiar to me. Even from a distance, I recognized my men by the way they walked when they boarded the train. And yet the home leave had confronted me with so many things that I had previously pushed aside. And suddenly it all seemed terribly pointless. Back at our camp, I tried in vain to shake off the impressions from home in order to somehow move on. Do not give me... Ooh, Fram! Nice! How you doing, Fram? You're still... Ooh, he doesn't turn up faltering. Love it. We have the medic. I wonder how his story was go. Because, you know, you start at the beginning and a couple of months later he's supposed to be at the Wednesday Society for Psychologists. I wonder if they'll have the same story with a different date. Hello, Elmer Fram. Back from home leave, reporting for duty. Waiting for due orders. Okay, nice to see you. Dejected added, well that's not good. Well rested. Belonging and grateful removed. Changed up to well rested. Nauseated removed. Good news removed. Medium supply stock. And 5 weeks worth of rations. Have you heard? Lots of action in Verdun. Some troops from our sector have been withdrawn to support the attack there. We'll do our part by taking on their duties for the time being. Herr Major ordered us on the defensive. Prepare yourself. We'll spend a lot of time in the trenches in the next few months. Because there's less people for the rotation. Rotation. Nice of you to join us again. While you were resting, we didn't take a break. I expect your full attention to your duties. Anything else? Unit is tasked with guard duty. Appoint 2 men to patrol the boundaries of our camp. Nothing else for now, it would seem. Okay, everybody is well rested. It's good to see. Our bunch is no longer faltering. We can push him a little bit harder. When I met Elmer Fram, I was relieved. According to his file, he could also have been a doctor in the field hospital, and I expected him to be frustrated and hostile. But he seemed relaxed and composed about his appointment to simple military service. It takes me away from my work, he admitted, but what's a few months, he shrugged. A few months? He took an even prouder stance than before and nodded. In a few months, there will be an important conference of the Wednesday Psychological Society, of which I am a member in Vienna. They will be expecting me at that date. All the esteemed experts will be there. Well then, let's do our best here, I said encouragingly. He nodded with satisfaction. I'll take my leave now, he said, touching his cap as if it were a top hat. He would have been more at home at a ball for Vienna's high society than here. Interesting, so the story still happens as normal. It just, yeah, I don't know, odd. Linux sat pale and slumped at the edge of the group. Since our home leave, I had hardly seen him in a different state. His former drive seemed to have vanished. In a calm moment, I asked him about it. Oh, excuse me, Herr Offizier, it's just... Absent-mindedly, he rubbed his eyes. I just can't get thoughts of home out of my head. It was horrifying to see how bad things are for our families. It was hardly any cold this winter, and with the drafty flats, my sister Marie has had a nasty cough for months. And I'm sitting here and can't do anything for her and don't know what will happen. You can give your work the attention it needs and then hopefully we'll be home soon, I said, trying to bring him back on track. He flinched slightly at my words. I'll do my best, Herr Unteroffizier. He nodded stiffly and then quickly said goodbye. Over the next few days, he still looked pale, but he seemed very determined to do his work as accurately as possible and not to lose face again. Oh, more stories. Several trucks carrying supplies had arrived in the early afternoon. The soldiers curiously gathered around the motorized vehicles. These trucks were a rare sight here at the front, but we were told that they would now occasionally replace the tried and tested horse-drawn cars. Fram was in the process of explaining the exact type of vehicle and its advantages and disadvantages to some of his comrades when Hennick, in his pragmatic manner, ordered the group of soldiers surrounding the trucks to help him unload them. The cargo also caused quite a stir among the men. Boxes full of new steel helmets lay there, dull and grey. When they thought no one was watching, some of my men started pulling them out of the boxes. My mother could make a great soup in something like that, commented Commandant on the new headgear. Your mother makes soup in these piss pots, Dana quipped. Hunt, put one on and wiggled his head around. The rim of the head helmet slipped so far down his face that you could hardly see his eyes. Dana tapped him on the helmet. "Hello, hello, Mr. Turtle, is anyone home?" he said with a laugh. "Put that back. It's not a toy." I instructed the men. Hennick had his hands full supervising the unloading and then planning the orderly distribution to everyone without my men messing around. When we sat together later, all we talked about were the new helmets. Fram knew a surprising amount of detail about them and contributed to a lively discussion. I really hoped these new helmets would offer my men better protection than the old Pickelhauben, which were mostly made of felt or leather. The modern helmet for the modern soldier. Tide removed, determined added. Standard rations for 4 days. The hospital, however, is getting quite full. So, let's go and try and do something about that, because I'm sure it will affect me at some point soon. Current workload, offer acceptance, accept. Then we are going to go and... Oh, you're a doctor. That should help. Let's go and chuck you two in there. And that'll be that. Hospital. Oh, completely cleaned out. Very nice. Look at that, my favorite. Unteroffizier, how can I help you? I don't know, you wanted to see me. Alright, she didn't want to see me. Have your people ready. It's back to the trenches. Let's see if the French find the courage to attack us. Here's your gear. Ah, so maybe she was going to ask or say something to me, but the fact that it clashes when we go into the trenches, it just never happened. I don't know. Lennick, the French have a sniper in the area. Nothing else to get done. Interesting. We are full of... ammunition, so we'll just go get some rations. No jobs from the Cuddly Teddy Bear. He seems to have let us get away with a turn. Do you want to play a little trick on the French? Some of your men into no man's land tonight to cut the barbed wire just outside the French trenches. And it was not a question. Okay, we've got 5 weeks worth of food for now. Oh, you two are well rested. You two win the draw. Sorry about that. It's just how it goes. That's a good point. I should see what jobs I've got available whilst here. Oh, look at him in his helmet. Something's going on in the French trenches. Someone should take a closer look. Why has he still got a felt cap on? We need more space here for reinforcements for ammunition as the basis of our future victory. We need to dig some trenches. Like I said, we should actually have a look at what's going on. Oh, wow. Defensive position, barbed wire, machine gun nest. And then on the other side, ladders, defensive position, barbed wire. The barbed wire is probably actually a very good idea. But we're full of good ideas right now. You two can dig bunkers. Oh, wait, no, you can go on recon. You can help him dig a bunker. You 3 can build me a machine gun nest. The French want to come, we can have a lot of bullets flying at them. You probably heard it. We just had a little shootout. Don't seem to know who started it, but both sides seemed eager to sensibly take potshots at each other. I managed to at least convince our group to stop that nonsense. I've discovered one of the French snipers' hideouts. If we lie in wait, we can take him under heavy fire when he returns. Another communication trench has collapsed. That is a 3-man job. So, let's go to this first. A spotter and a shooter. I assume that's the best combination. And then, if we go back to my own, I'm going to get some more food. It seems that we might have some heavier artillery coming in. Why did you just get resentful? What did I ever do to you? Fetch rations. Let's go and bump that up by maybe a ration or 2 to hopefully get us through any stuck in bunkers phase. Dugouts, I should say. Which, nope, hasn't quite turned over yet. We hardly have anything left to eat. Right, our rations just got blown up, didn't they? We knew where to look, and when the sniper got back to position, we immediately opened fire. He won't be terrorizing us again anytime soon. The French sneaked up on our trenches at dawn. The explosions were heard before the grenades had erupted us. They immediately turned their tail after, but it seems one of the grenades hit our food storage. Okay, nothing else are doing. So let us... I'm going to set up there, because otherwise they so easily flank That'll make it just a little bit harder to so easily flank our machine gun, basically. So set up barbed wire. We'll simply just go for you two. And then fetch and rations. We'll go for you three. And if we go to the other side... I mean, yeah, we'll set up the ladders. Why not? I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that every defensive little thing you build gives you a stronger weighting when it comes to the start of a defensive battle. I urgently need someone to deliver a message to headquarters. Send me your quickest man. Do I have a quick man? No, I have two slow people. That'll be you, Dana. But honestly... Oh, no longer in a skirmish mode because Fog has turned up. I'm not going to build a defensive position out there. It seems weird to me. What I am going to do is build some barbed wire by there, although I'm not entirely sure what that barbed wire really gets me, if I'm honest. We'll go for this defensive position instead. Lots, how can I help ye? Something's going on in the French trenches. Well, they can keep having it go on. Another communication trench collapsed. Another. I feel like I didn't even give him a job last time and he got tired. No, not quite. He was obviously already tired. So what have we got? 4 turns worth of food? Okay, let's give it another turn. Hopefully we don't get stuck in our bunkers now. No, we're not. Fog's still here. French did nothing. We also could do with a bit more ammunition. Cuddly Teddy Bear wants me. Your group is on night watch. Make sure your men don't fall asleep. Cuddly Teddy Bear has assigned 2 of you who will hopefully stay awake. They're very pragmatic. Frab. Additional task, fetch rations, leave. Lots, additional task, fetch ammunition, leave. And we're also then going to go and put Linux to the rations. I don't think. Nice, rations up to 6, ammunition back up to 4. Back to camp in 2 turns. No jobs required. Back to camp apparently in 1 turn. No jobs required. Let us... No, I'm not going to set up barbed wire. I'm going to see if I can go back to camp in the state that I'm currently in. Or whether I'm about to get delayed. Pack your things! We are relieved. Well, I am relieved to know that I'm going back to camp. And on that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to leave it there. A little bit of a short one, but I honestly think that if I keep going, it's going to end up being a bit of a long one. So, we're going to leave it there, and so when we come back next time, we will be going back to camp after having gone past home leave, after having written another damn report. And so until next time, ladies and gentlemen, as per always, I hope that you stay safe, happy, and healthy.